Good morning, children. Sairam. Let's get back to the another portion, another continuation of this chapter number 6, An Education in Science by Stephen Hawking. Children, before jumping to the leftover portion, I would like to put up a question from you all that what is the author's message to the readers as well as the public in the context of science? Or you can say that how do you think we can develop better understanding about science and its perspectives or relevance to the world? If you remember, children, Stephen Hawking told as well as explained briefly, descriptively, and in an elaborative manner that the perspective of science, that is, the perspective of pertaining learning science for the people, is just for the sake of achieving ambitions. It is not a portion or a bulk of knowledge to be attained. It is just a subject. Children or the teachers basically the people take science as a subject to fulfill certain criteria. They do not take science as a developer or a particular source which is going to fulfill the blank or incomplete portions of knowledge. So, getting back to the question, how do you think we can develop better understanding about science? See, when Stephen Hawking says, or he said, rather he explained that science or the basics of science are being explained to the people, to the children, just for the sake of a common, you can say, common progress. They are not taught with the perspective of development, advancement. So the answer is that science should not be taken as a subject. It should be taught as a proper knowledgeable bulk of knowledge, mass of knowledge. It should not be granted or delivered just from the criteria or point of view of an subject. Fine, children. Next, one more question. How do scientists and engineers express their ideas? Getting the answer from the textbooks. Scientists and engineers tend to express their ideas in the form of equations, as they need to know the precise values of quantities. See, children, when we are taking this, I have explained you back in the last video that when we are talking about expressions in the terms of language, when we are talking about the expressions in the terms of language, the expressions are different. It is very simple to express, or you can say rather interesting way to express your ideas, your perspectives in the context of anything. But when you are dealing with a practical subject, when you have a numerative subject, you cannot express your ideas or feelings in expressions. You need to have direct expressions, technical expressions, without any what you can say mixture or any kind of adulteration. Adulteration means you can't mix and match. You can't mix and match the feelings. It has to be very straightforward. So finally, scientists and engineers express their ideas with the help of precise values of quantities and equations. Now, one more question. How has the author conveyed his message to the public? See, children, the author has conveyed his message to the public in a very clear form. You can take the answer from the textbook also, quote the answer from the textbook also. That is, popular books and magazines, articles about science can help you develop scientific ideas, and television is the easiest way to reach the mass audience. But when we talk about television, it doesn't mean that to reach the audience anything can be broadcasted, anything can be given to the audience or the spectators. It has to be very crystal clear, very transparent, and very accurate. That how science and scientific tricks help as a magician, help as a magician to groom, develop, and technofy the world and its advancements. Okay, now moving ahead. What are science related issues that public will have to make decisions on in the near future? By far, the most urgent is that of nuclear weapons. Other global problems, such as food supply or the greenhouse effect, are relatively slow acting. But a nuclear war could mean the end of all human life on Earth within days. The relaxation of East West tensions brought about by the ending of the Cold War has meant that the fear of the nuclear war has receded. What is the meaning of receded? Gradually gone from the public mind. But the danger is still there. As long as there are enough weapons to kill the entire population of the world many times over. In former Soviet Union, or you can say in former Soviet states and in America, nuclear weapons are still poised to strike all the major cities in northern hemisphere. It would only take a computer error or a mutiny by those manning the weapons to trigger a global war. It is even more worrying that even minor powers are now acquiring nuclear weapons. The major powers have behaved in a reasonably responsible way so far, but one cannot have such confidence in minor powers like Libya or Iraq, Pakistan, or even Azerbaijan. The danger is not so much in the actual nuclear weapons that such powers may soon access or possess, which would be fairly rudimentary. Meaning of rudimentary is simple, though they could still kill millions of people. Rather, the danger is that a nuclear war between two minor powers could draw in the major powers with the enormous arsenals. It is very important that the public realize the danger and put pressure on all governments to agree to large arm cuts. It is probably not practical to remove nuclear weapons entirely, but we can lessen the danger by reducing the number of weapons. If we manage to avoid a nuclear war, there are still other dangers that could destroy us all. This is a sick joke that the reason we have not been contacted by an alien civilization is that civilizations tend to destroy themselves when they reach our stage. But I have enough faith in the good sense of public to believe that we might prove this wrong. Now, what does the author finally want to convey? The author wants to convey the readers, that is the mass public, that the misuse of the power or the powers should not occur. The people should realize their worth, they should realize the importance of their existence, that is the public. That how minor powers, minor states, or the states which are in minority, having low population, less population, and still they possess large variety of nuclear weapons, and these nuclear weapons might pose a threat towards the devastating state of condition for any of the countries, because a nuclear war between two minor powers could lead to the formation of a major formation of power, and this may further initiate This may further initiate IRP towards massive destruction. But he ends, he puts a hold on this particular discussion by showing faith towards the public, towards the audience, and saying that he has full faith and trust in the public so that the nations lead a good, developed life and they have a safe, happy, as well as a blessed future. By this chapter is finished. Thank you for today. And children, I would like you to tell one more thing. Soon you will be initiating towards the submission of your subject enrichment as well as notebook submission. As PD1 periodic test 1 has been organized online, similar way, in similar such method, we will be having submissions from you online. So be prepared with your creative ideas for the work, activity, project, etc. that will be assigned to you. Thank you and have a nice day. Saira.